When mama goes down, everybody goes down. And I didn't really realize I was doing this. I think I was trying to be a great daughter-in-law. I was trying to be a great daughter. I was trying to be a great wife. But what I have found is it doesn't work. What's one life-giving thing I can do today? Also, a lot of what we do as mothers is hidden work. Like, he's not going to see all the times I get up. He's not going to see all the diapers I change. He's not going to see all the tantrums. I'm going to share the things today that, in my opinion, they just haven't worked out well for me. I am telling you. Like, I've tried some of these things. I've lived to regret it. I've paid the price, lots of pain. I want to save you all that pain, all that regret today. This channel is mainly for new moms, but what do I mean by that? Like, being a mom, we kind of haven't done it before, and it takes some time, especially if we have one kid and they're doing great and obeying like crazy. You think you're killing it as a mom, but when we've mommed for a while and we've had a couple of kids, we've been humbled a little bit. And so when I say new mom, it's spanning quite a distance. I'm about to have my 6th child at Christmas, praying it all goes well. But I want to offer you what has caused me pain as a mom to help you avoid it. That's my goal with this video. So hey, my name is Lana. This girl teaching me this whole channel just to be a blessing to you as a mama. If you are an intentional mom or you want to be an intentional mom, I hope you'll stay and hit subscribe. And I say it in all my videos. If you happen to be pregnant, because that happens to us in motherhood, right? I have a free class for you. It's 5 key decisions you should consider making if you want to change your whole birth experience. Don't leave it up to chance. Birth is wild, but there is so much we can do to control our birth experience, to change our birth experience, to put our fingerprints on what we want our birth experience to be like. So go check that out if you happen to be pregnant. Okay, so I'm going to hit you with 7 things that I wish I'd known, things that just didn't work out for me in motherhood, and I hope and pray there can be one that stands out to you. And in fact, I would love to hear it. Like, the moment you feel like one kind of resonates with you, I pray that you'll just leave it down below. So the first thing for me that just didn't seem to work out well, and I felt a lot of tension about at the very beginning, was really trying to please my family of origin and Matt's family of origin all the time with all our decisions. And I didn't really realize I was doing this. I think I was trying to be a great daughter-in-law. I was trying to be a great daughter. I was trying to be a great wife. But what I have found is it doesn't work. At some point, we're going to ruffle the feathers, especially if we're going to be very intentional about creating our own family of origin, our own family culture, our own traditions, forging our own way, coming up with what we want to do for Christmas, what we want to do for Thanksgiving, what we want to do for birthdays, and what we want our family to stand for. And so what I want to say to you is, if you're not ruffling feathers, something's probably wrong, unless you just have like totally aligned families. You came from like the same family of origin pretty much. And man, I'm jealous because, family can be tricky. I love my family. I love Matt's family, which is now my family too. It's not perfect though, because it's a relationship, and I'm a fallen person who has, selfishness, if I can say that, and issues. I have sin in my life. I'm a Christian, and so, I'm just not perfected quite yet. Hopefully the Lord will finish all that work in me in heaven. But until that time, I'm not perfect. And so I'm doing the best I can to be okay ruffling feathers and knowing that I'm actually just trying to create something unique for my family, my husband and I, and that my family's not going to always understand, and his family's not always going to understand. And that doesn't mean that we're being disrespectful to our parents. It just means, hey, we're going to choose to do things different, and that's okay. The second thing is trying to please my husband at all times. And what I mean by that is, like, when I first got married, I think I was looking for this like affirmation from him, like he was my boss or something. I don't know, it's like super strange. I think from a Christian perspective, I was trying to be a really good helpmate, but I was putting too much pressure on him to like notice all the things I had done and affirm all the things I had done and give me like this praise, and it's just too much pressure on him. And also, a lot of what we do as mothers is hidden work. Like, he's not going to see all the times I get up. He's not going to see all the diapers I change. He's not going to see all the tantrums. He's not going to see all the moments I tried to choose patience instead of yelling. Like, he's not going to see every snack I made and every mess I cleaned up. But the Lord sees my work. And this is just like, honestly, for me, like, I don't really know how I would do motherhood without Jesus, because he gives me strength, and also he gives me so much purpose, and he gives me help that I need in those moments where nobody sees me and I'm like, Lord, help me, But I like to try to say, like, live for the audience of one, and, being faithful in the hidden work because it's beautiful work and it's important work. The third thing is a little dicey, a little spicy, is allowing my kids to make all the decisions, right? Like the goal is that I have my hand on the wheel, like if my husband's gone to work, I have my hand on the steering wheel. Like I am paying attention. I'm trying to take us somewhere as a family. I'm trying to take us somewhere as a mother. And not that I don't give my kids any choices, but I had a really wise mom tell me, I lived with a family when I was getting my master's at the University of Tennessee, and they had 4 children at the time. They adopted another one after I left, but they were so wonderful to me. I lived on the 3rd floor. I did their laundry, I did chores, and they let me live there for free. And it was the most beautiful arrangement. But the most beautiful part was just like the natural discipleship I got, the natural mentoring I got. And one thing she said to me that always stuck with me is she's like, Lana, you don't run a diner. I don't run a diner. And I had no children at this point. I wasn't even married. But she was like, we have to feed a family multiple times a day. We cannot take special orders. We just cannot. And that really stuck with me. And praise the Lord, none of my kids are picky eaters. Like they know mama's not taking special orders. Like I'll take your thoughts into consideration, but at the end of the day, I've got to get breakfast on the table, lunch on the table, dinner on the table. And if you don't love it, I just expect you to eat a couple bites and try it. The truth is, like, if you're hungry enough, you will eat it at some point. But I'm also trying to make good food, right? I want to make good food that not just some slop in front of them that just gets by. And so it's just that balance of like, I want to hear, is there a meal you'd love to have this week? I want to hear your input. I want to hear your thoughts. You're a human. I value you, and I value what you think so much, and I'll take it into consideration, but my hand is on the steering wheel and I'm trying to take us somewhere, and I can't let you make all the decisions because there's so many people in this family, and we're trying to accomplish something together. And I think that's being a good coach, being a good teacher, being a good mom, is having your hand on the steering wheel, having like classroom control, and allowing them to make all the decisions. I think is actually really unsettling for them because they feel like nobody's in charge, and they're really not made to be in charge. They're not developmentally ready for that. So it's just something, I think I did that at the beginning of my parenting a bit too much, and I kind of didn't have a plan for the day. I kind of let the day just take me where it went, instead of being like, I'm going to try to get something out of the day. We're going to try to accomplish something together. Even if I just have 2 kids at home who are small, we can still accomplish something. I can still be trying to make bread or make a good dinner or do a home project, or, I can be trying to make progress on something instead of just like, what do you want to do the whole day? Another thing that has not worked out well is comparison. I know we hear about this all the time, but seeing everybody's just highlights on Instagram, seeing everybody's parenting theories, taking in so much input all the time from people that I don't know really well or I trust really well. Like, I think I was just at the whim of like whatever came up on my feed, and I think I was just taking in too much input and not trusted input. Like, I think it's different when we have some trusted people, some trusted authors that are speaking into our lives, but just like, the endless scroll of randomness coming up, that was really hurtful to my motherhood. That didn't work out well because it left me really confused. It left me feeling like almost shamed, like, oh, well, you trick or treat or you don't trick or treat, or you co-sleep or you don't co-sleep, or you do, I don't know. There's so many opinions and everybody's yelling their opinions so loud that when I turned off that noise, got off Instagram, and it just grew kind of quiet, and I could tune in a little bit more to my mama intuition, and found that, oh, I can feel more secure in my decisions. I can feel more like confident, and I'm not drifting. I think about that part in James that talks about not being tossed and turned by the wind. That's what it feels like sometimes on social media. It's like this tossing and turning of the wind. So many opinions. Whew, it just can wear you out. Another thing that didn't work out for me that well as a mom is having too many kids' clothes and too many toys. So many kids' clothes just meant backed up laundry like crazy. And, I love to take in hand-me-downs from my friends. That is always a blessing. But I do get to the point where I'm like, I haven't gone through the ones I have so far. And so for now, I'm going to have to pause. And I turn down really good hand-me-downs. But I just feel like when I have about 5 to 7 outfits, like tops and bottoms that go good for my kids, that's about the sweet spot, enough to pack on like a week-long vacation. That's about it. And really, I might keep some spare extras for like if we're going somewhere and stains and things like that. I might keep some extras, but when I can keep it really minimal, oh my goodness, laundry gets done so much easier. And as far as the toys go, if they're overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed. And so just keeping it really minimal, even storing stuff in the attic, like if it's just not working right now, if I know I'm going into a crazy season, like I know having this baby, I am going to have to like kind of reduce the things with a million pieces just for a season for a while. But that has helped me a ton, I think, before. Also just like having a bunch of toys, like just taking in random stuff that like had all kinds of crazy colors and was just that didn't look like decor. I'm not like hyper, everything has to be wooden and minimal, but I will say there is something to like toys that don't look like clutter. There is something triggering when we see a million toys that look like clutter, and I think it's triggering for our kids too. The next one is super simple, but it's not having a plan for dinner doesn't work out well for a mom. Like I say, when you wake up in the morning and you have breakfast, it's kind of like a period that always comes, like dinner's coming, it's coming. And so just getting a plan after breakfast, even if you start thawing meat, even if you go ahead and brown the ground beef with an onion, even if you put something in the Instapot, the crock pot, even if you go ahead and cook the whole meal. If it's soup, you could go ahead and make it if you have some time, especially if you have littles. Like while they're happy playing in the morning, like maybe that's when you make dinner, because I'm telling you, like that 3 to 5 time after they wake up from naps, that can be a tough time sometimes when you have littles. And so what didn't work out well for me is trying to figure out dinner at 5 p.m. Instead, just go ahead and figure it out after breakfast. Have a game plan. Even if you're not a planner and you didn't plan the whole week, just get something started so that you already made that pre-decision. It will help you so much. The last one is just trying to mom on empty all the time. Like when we are in that unique sleep deprived state where we are giving of ourselves, and that is just part of it. I think what didn't work out well for me was believing this narrative that I can continue to pour from an empty well for a really long time. And I know that the Lord can like bridge that gap, and He can help us, and He can, it's like He gave manna to the Israelites in the wilderness. Like He can give us our daily bread and all the things. But when I had nothing left, beating myself up that I had nothing left, instead what helped me so much was to intentionally find ways to carve out rejuvenation for myself and to get those times alone. And even when I was in a sleep deprived state, one thing that did help me was realizing I was really low on getting some alone time. So just talking to my husband and like, I need to go do this workout class one time a week, or twice a week. I need to get up early and go to Starbucks and just have a moment of like my ears have fatigue, so much sound, just some quiet. Like one thing I do now is I go on a quick morning walk, and my husband kind of like holds back the waters for me to do that. I have to make sacrifices, right? I may have to get up early. I may have to make some plans and arrangements. I may have to hire a sitter every once in a while. But like, I know that if I'm not rejuvenated, if I'm not filled up, my whole family suffers. I had a midwife tell me that. She's like, when mama goes down, everybody goes down. And we don't want everybody to go down. And so I think what helps so much is when we can figure out what's one life-giving thing I can do today. What's one life-giving thing I can do this week to intentionally pour into my heart, my soul, my health, my intellect, my relational bucket. And that's going to bless my family. I really think about like a spring that kind of flows down. And when I am doing well, it kind of flows down to my family. When I'm not doing well, it's hard on my family. And I'm not going to do well all the time because, when you're not sleeping, it's a super challenge. But not waiting for somebody to come save us, getting really creative about what can I control? How can I get the help I need? How can I carve out pockets of time for myself? How can I do something that is going to breathe life into my soul? That is going to help me so very much to show up better for my family and change the whole environment for our family. Because like it or not, we're kind of like the thermostats in our home. When we are happy and joyful and intentional and feeling good about ourselves, really, and not depressed about where we are, with our bodies and our minds and all the things, it brightens our home. It lightens our home. There's a peace that comes into our home when we have this like inner contentment. But when we're not doing well, it's just hard. You could have the most perfect looking house and all the things, but it's just going to be hard. My friend Margaret Matheny, if you don't know who she is on YouTube, like I think she's the GOAT on YouTube. I think she's like so inspirational. You should definitely go watch her stuff if you've never heard of her. But we did like this mini course called Take Back Your Home, and she shared a ton of insight that was really, really good. Just even like changing the lights in our home, like the mood, like we're setting an environment in our home. It's so very, very important. I don't think we think about it enough, but just all to say, what we're doing is so very, very important. I hope you gleaned one little thing from this video. Put one little thing in action. If you just listened and you didn't really like, what's one thing I can like tweak this week, then you may have wasted your time, and I don't want to ever waste your time on this channel. I want this to be a place where you can come and feel like encouraged and inspired and challenged, and you're like, okay, I can level up in this one area by just being intentional this week. So I'd love to hear what your one thing is down in the comments below, and I'll see you again in the next video.
It's so unnecessary dwelling about the past, 'cause I know that God is good, He led me to where I'm at. Sometimes I feel like giving up, you're giving in, but everything happens for a reason. It won't always be blue skies ahead. Sometimes you might need a helping hand, just like iron sharpens iron, making me stronger, calling me higher. When we come together, just like iron sharpens iron, making us stronger, calling us higher. When we're helping each other, we're growing together.